do friends lie, backstab you, bring you down, tarnish your reputation, and tell lies about you all the time. But if you want to be honest with yourself, half the times when people attack you, disappoint you, betray you, they are using the information that they got because of the proximity that they had with you. Oftentimes we give access to too many people and we overshare things with people who have no business knowing those things, and they use them against us. And that is why I always talk about developing discipline with your access. Not everyone deserves to know your fiance or your partner or your husband's weaknesses. Not everyone deserves to know your favorite child. Not everyone deserves to know where you're going on holiday, your income, and all those things. But because we do not know what to share and what not to share, we put ourselves in terrible situations all the times. And that is what I want to talk about in this video. How do you develop discipline with your access? What do you do? Okay, hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Petronella Munhenzva. I'm an author, I'm a consultant, I'm a speaker. I wrote an amazing book, From Walker to Oxford, The Girl Who Dared to Dream. Please do get a copy. It's available on Amazon, and if you're in Zimbabwe, it's available from Innovate bookshops and Book Fantastics bookshops. So in this video, I want to do an expanded edition of a topic that I once talked about. So if you go back on the previous videos that I did a video where I talked about discipline. And I talked about the 5 areas of your life that you need to develop discipline with. I'm not going to go into those areas again. I'm going to put the link in the bio, in the description of this video. But what I talked about in that video was you need to develop discipline with your access. And it was like a 2-minute segment in that video, but I've received so much feedback and people want me to talk more about that, and that is what I'm going to do in this today. You need to develop discipline with your access. So many marriages have been ruined because the wrong people had access. So many people lost their jobs because the wrong people had access. So many proposals, so many engagements have failed and broken down because the wrong person had access. And that is why you need to be vigilant and you need to guard your access all the time. I'm a Christian, so I'm going to tell you a biblical story that just makes this clear. If you look at in the Bible, in the book of Judges, there's a man called Samson. He was highly anointed by God and he was told to never cut his hair. And as long as he kept his mouth shut about that secret, he was still the most powerful man at the time, and he still defeated anyone he went to battle with. Until one day he met a girl and he told her his secret. If you cut my hair, I lose all of my strength. The moment that secret was out, the moment Delilah knew that Samson lost his hair and he lost his power and he lost his authority. If he had kept his mouth shut, he would have kept his hair on his head and he would have kept the strength that he had. Of course, if you read about it, God gave him a second chance, and because he will always redeem us. But what I want you to get away from that story is he shared a secret. He gave a person access who had no business knowing. Delilah had no business knowing what was going on between God and Samson. And Samson let her in on that secret, and that put everything crashing down. How many times have you had someone who came into your life and immediately everything went upside down? How many times have you had that? And this does not only apply to you giving people access, it also applies to who gives you access. Not everyone who pulls you close is good for you. When people bring you close, ask yourself, why are they bringing me close? Am I aligned with what they believe? Are their belief systems aligned with me? Are their goals aligned with me? Can I have them as a friend? Can I have them as a colleague? Can I relate to them in any capacity? Because it's not really a question of who you give access to, it's a question of who gives access to you. And I'm going to tell you another biblical story. If you read in the book of Exodus, there is a man called Joseph. When he got to Egypt, he was given access to Potiphar's house. And when he was in that house, Potiphar's wife accused him of raping her and he went to jail. He never did it, but because he was given access to the wrong place, that's what happened. So don't only guard the people that you give access to, guard the people that give you access. And what do I mean by saying all this? What I mean by saying this is know what things are supposed to be kept Know the people that are for you, know the people that are genuinely your friends, know the people that genuinely care for you, and share information with those people. Not everyone who comes close to you is a friend. Some people, and I want to make an important point, people come close to you for two reasons. It's either they care or they are curious, and you need to understand the distinction between those two things. Is this person befriending me because they care, or are they befriending me because they are curious? If they're befriending you because they care, then that's fine. Don't overshare, but put them close and nurture and see how that relationship develops. But if they're coming to you because they're curious, kick them to the curb. Don't give them access, because people ruin you when you get them too close and they're not supposed to be there. So what do you need to not give access to? Keep your relationship life personal, please. I'm not against posting things on social media. If you're happy and you're in love and you got flowers and you want to show the world, by all means do it, but be liberal with what you share. Be liberal. I'm one person who can post on social media. I can post on Instagram and Facebook and on pretty much those two. On YouTube, I can upload a video every week. I can post every day, but you would never know what's going on in my personal life. You would never know what's going on in my relationship or anything like that, because I've realized that there are parts of my life that I want to give people access to, and there are parts of my life that I don't want to give people access to. So because of that, I guard jealously and I'm deliberate with what I share. And I'm not discouraging you from building relationships with people. No, by all means, be a nice person. Be very approachable, be very polite, but do not give people access, because when you give people access that they have no business getting, they will abuse it. People abuse access if they know that they haven't ended. And I have seen so many houses break, so many marriages happen because of this issue. So before you make anyone close, before you invite everyone to your child's party, before you do anything with anyone, I want you to understand and evaluate their motives, evaluate where they are coming from, evaluate your compatibility. You are not only you don't only look for compatibility in romantic relationships. You also look for compatibility in friendships, because how do you people complement each other or otherwise? This is a very important issue, and I don't know how much I can stress this. I have a friend, she applied for a job and she went and she told another friend that she had applied for that job, and that other friend who was told about that job application went and ruined that friend of mine's opportunity, and they went and just blacklisted her to the boss, and she lost it. So because of this, I'm always going to be passionate about this, and I think the best way to do this, I'm sorry, I'm going to talk about this towards the end of the video. I'm sorry, I just rambled. I'm just so passionate about this, and I just had so much to say. I think the best way to do it is set boundaries and put people in categories. Who knows what, who doesn't know what, and people need to earn the right to know things about your life. You don't meet me today and I know your husband's favorite color, your husband's favorite food you don't do that. Set boundaries and put people into categories. What do they deserve to know? What don't they deserve to know? And if you understand this, it will put you in a better place. And I think you also need to stop operating from the assumption that people are as good as you are. Stop assuming that people will treat you the way you treat them. Stop assuming that everyone out there has good intentions. If you have good intentions for everyone, that's amazing. Not everyone has good intentions. So stop working from that assumption and always treat people the way they present themselves to you. Always look at people's motives, and also pay attention to how people joke around when they're around you. There are so many people who throw shade, who discourage you, who tell you what they actually think about you in the guise of jokes. So if they're always joking about things, about your achievement, if they're always undermining your achievements, if they're always criticizing your husband, your job, or your appearance, and they always dismiss it as a joke, maybe that's what they feel about you. So pay attention to those subtle things. How do people compliment you? If they say, oh, I like your dress, but how do they give you those underhanded comments? Do they make those jokes that sort of like lessen you? It's because it's in those tiny things, it's in those tiny mannerisms and behaviors of what people do when they're around us, that is actually a reflection of what they think about us. So pay attention. Don't be naive. Don't be naive to forgive people too many times when a person gossips about you, comes back and apologizes, and you forgive them. I'm not saying don't forgive. I'm saying forgive and keep a distance. Pay attention to people's patterns in your life. Pay attention. How do they show up for you? How do they show up for you as much as you show up for them? How do they react to your problems? Are they genuinely concerned? Or they'll ask you probing questions to know more for their own amusement, or they actually care? If you are careful enough, if you take your time and assessing your relationships, you will realize that the people that are for you are actually a very small number. And it's good for you to know that, because you then know who to trust and who not to trust. Okay, this is something that I'm passionate about. So please do let me know in the comments some of the ways that you can put up boundaries and some of the ways that you can limit the access that you give to people. So final words: develop discipline with your access. Not everyone is for you. Know that, recognize that, and live with it. Don't feel bad for distancing some people. Don't feel bad for cutting people off. Don't feel bad for doing things that safeguard your interests, your future, because people are people. So till next time, take care, guys. Please do subscribe. Please like this video. Please share, leave comments. Let's get the conversations going.